This is the gift of Prema Yatra that we printed, which is the collection of the lectures of Bapuji when he first came. And we printed that at our own press here. And we offer Bapuji's own thing to Bapuji. And what do? We just print it, and that's all we can do, but it comes from him. I want to wear it on my own. I don't want to be wearing something that he puts it on me. Dadaji wants to be independent. They should be able to see it.
No, I can see here.
Can they see it?
Namah Shivaya Gurave Satchidanandamurtaye Namastasmai 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 Namo Namah Oh Namah Shivaya Gurave Satchidanandamurtaye Namastasmai 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 Namo Oh Namah Shivaya Gurave Satchidanandamurtaye Namastasmai 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 Namo Asato ma Sadgamaya Tamaso Jyotirgamaya Mrityorma Amritam Gamaya
Is my white handkerchief here? Our Dada Gurudev, Bapuji, as you know, is in silence. And so he's asked his granddaughter, who comes very humbly at his feet, to read to you his words of love. And he gave me a quick lesson before I came. And I said, there's no way I can sound like Dada. So I will only try to read. And then Indra will follow me with another of Bapuji's speeches. I feel very hesitant to speak because I cannot express myself in your language. And yet, at the same time, everything I express will be in our language. Is there any language we all know that is neither exclusively yours nor mine? Yes. It is the language of love. Since I love you and you love me. The language of love is also called the language of the heart, or the language of feelings. Although this language uses no words and cannot be verbalized, it can be both heard and seen. We can see it with our eyes and hear it with our heart and mind. Because the language of words is often elaborate, it cannot always clearly convey one's intended feelings. As a result, we often need to contemplate the other person's words to understand the feelings inherent in them. But the wordless language of love, on the other hand, can be more directly perceived. Thus, we never need to contemplate any feelings because they are conveyed with crystal clarity. Among the countless languages of the world, the language of love is the most noble. I believe that humans have created the language of words in an attempt to express love in words. The need for words shows a lack of love, however. For anyone who fully personifies love needs no language at all. All living beings can understand the language of love, since it is the language of the Lord Himself. It touches everyone's heart, since it is also the language of the heart. In addition, love is considerate of everyone, since it is also the language of feelings. Thus, love is the universal language which belongs to no single place or person. For example, consider the distance between Canada and India. Both places are separated by thousands of miles, and yet you all have gathered here in one place to be with some unknown Indian person whom you consider your loved one. Isn't it amazing? Ordinarily, we believe that we cannot have any kind of relationship with someone who we have never met. This is a misconception, since the theory of reincarnation or rebirth is valid. This theory states that we have existed in past lives and will continue to exist in future lives. There is some evidence to support this theory. For example, sometimes we spontaneously feel strong love for a stranger. We love him at first sight, as if he were a close member of our family. How could such spontaneous love ever arise unless we had known him in a past lifetime? In light of this theory, our relationship is not new. It is very old. Surely, we have been related to each other through past lives, and I am here with you after being separated for an unknown length of time. How else could we explain our strong attraction to one another? Our meeting is not a formal occasion. It is a union of love. In cities, countless families live in multi-story buildings. Most of those families never know or feel any attraction to their neighbors. Yet, you consider me one of your own without ever having seen me in person before, and without any concern for the thousands of miles that had been between us. This implies that I have been drawn here by the force of your love. I am not just an unfamiliar guest. I am your always welcome, ever invited family member. And we are having the first communication of our reunion. Whatever I have said about the language of love and our relationship of love is due to my seeing the love in your eyes and feeling the tide of sentiment in your hearts. Because of your eyes and hearts, I have turned my tongue toward that topic. Don't you feel that every person is searching for something? When first attracted to some thought, action, person, or object, the person is overjoyed. Each atom of his body is thrilled. But when he gives up the contact, or when he loses interest in these things, his body slumps with grief and sorrow. Each atom of his body is depressed. Again and again, with each new contact, the person experiences the illusion that he has found what he has been searching for. Yet, even though he doesn't find what he was seeking, his tendency to go on searching remains. But again and again, he loses what he imagines he has found, until eventually he becomes disillusioned. Every seeker confronts this stage. Is the person searching for something that is merely a mirage? No, he is not as foolish as that. What he is seeking does exist. That is why his tendency to search never stops. So then, what is he searching for? Dharma or religion? Is he really searching for Dharma? Yes, he is. Dharma or religion reaches into every home. In fact, there is not a single home in which religion does not live. That religion, however, is not religion in its truest form. It is merely a shadow of religion. Dharma is not easily attainable in one lifetime. In order to attain it, the human being has to invoke it for countless lifetimes. If a person were to attempt to fill a small receptacle with the water of an entire river, would he succeed? Of course not. Well, religion is like a huge river. The ordinary human being cannot contain religion in its entirety. In order to do that, man has to become a superhuman, a god. Some time ago, a person asked me a question on this subject. Babaji, you are telling us that each individual is searching for religion. However, our intellect cannot fully comprehend the truth of this statement. Yes, we do know for sure that mankind is searching for something. However, it does not appear to us that he is looking for dharma or religion. If you don't accept this fact, it is not your fault. The term dharma or religion has many synonyms: love, happiness, peace, bliss, God, and many other similar words. Dharma is both a means and an end. When dharma is attained, it manifests as love, happiness, peace, bliss, or God. Dharma, or religion, is the final achievement of human life. Once it is accomplished, nothing else remains to attain. Now, tell me, are you not searching for love, happiness, peace, or bliss? Yes, you are searching for these. Therefore, what you are seeking is called dharma, God, or love. When the human being attains love, all his meanderings cease. The restlessness of his mind also ceases. At the beginning of his search, he learns to love himself, and then he is able to love others. When one learns to love himself, then it can be said that love resides very close to us. And yet, why doesn't one attain love in one lifetime? Because of extraversion. Until the seeker discovers the true direction in which he should search, he goes on suffering from various illusions. And when he finds the true direction, he encounters various favorable experiences which confirm the correctness of his direction. Dharma lives neither in temples nor in religious scriptures. Dharma lives in the temple of the mind. Unless the seeker enters into the true temple, he cannot possibly attain the true religion. Only when one makes initial preparation and practices self-control and virtuous conduct do the closed doors of his mind fly open. Dharma does not mean sectarianism. Dharma means genuine actions to obtain God or surrender to the Lord. Dharma means love, unity, harmony, and character. Love is the universal religion. Unity is the universal religion. Harmony is the universal religion. character is the universal religion. The opposite of dharma is adharma, which means hatred, duality, disharmony, and wanton behavior. The dharma, which was propagated in ancient times by the rishis and munis of India, is known as Sanatan Dharma. Sanatan Dharma means eternal religion, divine religion, human religion, universal religion, or religion of love. Although the ladder of dharma can have many steps, it leads to only one destination. If God is one and indestructible, then the dharma to achieve him must also be one, indestructible and eternal. A mortal human being can never create an eternal religion. Only immortal God can create eternal religion. Dharma is the birthright of every individual. For the omnipresent Lord, who is the eternal seed of love, lives in everyone's heart. The unique characteristic of true religion is that it takes us from pain to happiness, from sorrow to bliss, from restlessness to peace, and from attachment and hatred to eternal love. The pilgrimage of Dharma is the pilgrimage of love. The sadhana of Dharma is the sadhana of love. Only true religion can destroy the impurities of the seeker's body and mind and open the doors of progress. Without religion, man is blind. If he is to begin his spiritual journey, he must remove his blindness by reading genuine scriptures, keeping the company of saints, and serving the Guru. Only then can he find the path to God. Without self-control and virtuous conduct, man is crippled. Only when he practices self-control and virtuous conduct can he become a pilgrim on the path to God. One cannot attain truth unless he approaches it scientifically. True science is only that knowledge which can be experienced at all times and in any country. There are two spiritual paths, the Pravritri path and the Nivritti path. The Pravritri path is meant for those who still seek pleasure, wealth, and religion. The Nivritti path is meant for sannyas, those who seek only liberation. One begins the spiritual journey by traveling on the Pravritri path. Only after completing this path can he begin to travel on the path of Nivritti. Even the great rishis and munis of ancient India practiced the Pravritri path for many years. It is true that compared to the sadhana of the Nivritti path, the sadhana of the Pravritri path is average. But compared to the path of adharma, the Pravritri path is extraordinary. For the average seeker, the pravritti path is sufficient, for it isn't possible for him to handle the rigors of the nivritti path. The pravritti seeker is like a house which needs only the light of a lamp, not the brilliant rays of the sun. Thus, even though we are all traveling to the same place of pilgrimage, we each must start our humble journey from where we live. Picture a large city with people setting out on a pilgrimage from countless homes. At first, their travels would form many trials until they had all reached the outskirts of the city. Then, traveling together, they would form a highway. From this illustration, we can see that although there are minor differences at the start of our individual pilgrimages, we eventually meet on the same path. A person's mind is influenced by his environment. And since the world is filled with violence and hatred, it is very difficult to search for love. To search for love, to acquire it, and to protect it in such an environment. The world is full of boga, or hedonism.
Lust.
Yes, means lust. In fact, it is a virtual battlefield. Yet, one has to fight, even with one's own family and friends, to transform it into a land of yoga and tapas. This is a very arduous task. Imagine a thirsty traveler who had been running barefoot in the hot desert. The blazing noon sun is scorching his bare head. Just imagine how pathetic this scene is. Every individual being today is suffering from a similar situation. The impact of the environment on the individual's spiritual growth was well understood in ancient India. For this reason, each new generation was educated in the forest. The greatest benefit of this arrangement was that the newer generation was protected from the influence of any bad impressions that might have been imposed upon them by their contact with the older generation. Every human being may attain either dharma or adharma through the various instruments and faculties he possesses: body, organs, mind, prana, intellect, ego, citta, and soul. When his sense organs are constantly focused outside himself, his mind is filled with vices, pain, grief, restlessness, attachments, and hatred. Day by day, passions and desires increase. Consequently, the person's mind is tortured increasingly by the army of thoughts which march toward these vicious tendencies. Eventually, the person yearns for happiness, bliss, and peace. He feels an urge to change. Under such conditions, the only unfailing way for him to become loving is to change the direction of his thought flow. In order to earn a living, a person has to perform many tasks which are very important to him. However, the pursuit of his tasks always brings him pain. From this lesson, he learns to pursue only those activities which bring happiness and to subordinate all his former activities. Observing moderation in diet, fasting, exercise, and celibacy or self-control to the best of one's capacities are among those worthwhile activities which are very useful for physical purification. In addition, pursuing other worthwhile practices, such as contemplation of scriptures, keeping the company of saints, serving the Guru, praying to the Lord, chanting mantra, asanas, pranayam, mudras, and other disciplines facilitate introversion or tuning within. Furthermore, loving behavior converts even a mediocre person into a great person. Progress comes to him who engages in self-analysis, speaks truthfully, lovingly, moderately, and observes silence when necessary. When one practices sadhana, his mind and body are purified. This purification hastens his spiritual progress. To illustrate, I will tell you a story. A king once built a grand palace. In spite of its grandeur, he was not quite satisfied. So, he decided to have works of art painted on his walls. He invited well-known artists from distant lands who came eagerly. From among them, the king selected 2 famous artists whose reputations suggested their worthiness for the task, and whom the king himself held in high esteem. He told them, "I want to decorate my audience room with enchanting paintings. I will reward you appropriately if I am satisfied with your work. Until your paintings are finished, no one will be able to enter this room. Not only that, but a curtain will separate you, and a guard will be posted so that you do not see each other's paintings." Both artists agreed to the king's terms and began their task. A year passed. During that period, a lot of speculation about the project had arisen among the citizens, and they were very eager to see the paintings of both artists. Finally, the paintings were ready, and on an appointed day, the paintings were displayed publicly. A large crowd gathered in the audience room, and the atmosphere was charged with excitement. Then, at last, the curtain which had separated the 2 artists was drawn aside. Awestruck, everyone stared in silence. The paintings were exactly alike. How could this possibly happen? There had been a curtain between both artists. Neither artist could see the painting of the other artist as he worked. Moreover, a guard had watched over both to maintain the arrangement.